So, Solvarch is quite definitely not a champion for me. I would personally call him mid. I can see where he can have some uses, but I definitely have quite a few issues with him. And we're gonna have quite a bit of gameplay and better and worse matchups for Solvarch, some damage comparisons, and some rotation showcases as well, because I have been messing around with him quite a bit as I acquired him earlier. And there are definite positives. For instance, I do like his power leech on his level 2, which effectively means that you do not have to actively bait special attacks just about ever. Like one special one at the beginning of the fight, and then, if opponent throws a special, good. If they don't, also fine. It's not really stopping you. So I like that aspect of him, especially in some rotations. And obviously he does have quite a bit of utility. My issues with him is kind of primarily his damage and rotations. And I don't think, genuinely, he is the type of champion that we will see often unless Kabam makes us. And that's kind of the worrisome part there. So, the first issue with Solvarch is that he's very bad in non-ideal matchups, better and good in his ideal matchups, but not insanely amazing. And let's just start with a base Winter Soldier fight. So again, definitely not an ideal matchup for him. However, a very, very, very simple, straightforward fight. Here I can showcase his level 2, level 1, level 3 rotation. And that is one of the problems here. You didn't need to build up quite a bit of power in order to execute that. And that immediately is not a great sign. If a champion even ever relies on a level 3 in their rotation, that almost always will mean that they're fairly slow, with a handful of exceptions where you basically nuke down the opponent as soon as you build level 3. And one of the issues in a non-kind of energy damage matchup is you build up your charges slowly, and you do need to do a lot of medium-light mediums, which will typically also cause you to take some chip damage, which is not ideal, but fine, his armors kind of help with that. But effectively, his rotation would be level 2, once you build up 3 bars of power in order to gain some extra core charges. Then level 1, get the 10 energize, and then with a single combo, you can get level 3, and then get through that level 3 animation. But again, one of the problem is that you just about spend the entire fight time with none of the energizers active, which makes him slow. Again, if you're gonna rewind, you can see that I only am getting my energizers right about now. And I kind of want to do that. I want to have a level 3 ready when I activate my level 1, so I maintain as many core charges as possible to do max amount of level 3 damage. So here, entire first minute I have spent with no energizers. Then I drop one combo whilst my energizers are active, and then it's another X amount of seconds in the level 3 animation. So his ramp up effectively is a minute. And that is, again, in a vanilla, as basic as possible fight type situation where I do not need to play around anything. And again, this is, at least from what I have found, the fastest rotation that I could squeeze out of him, where I build up 3 bars of power whilst building up my core charges, inflicting as many cold snaps as I can. And again, because of the fractured power bar, I always just about want to have the 3 bars active when I activate my special attack, so I generate more core charges or maintain more core charges when I use level 3 for maximum amount of damage. And so here again, I could technically use my level 1 right now, but that would plummet my damage drastically because I haven't rebuilt my core charges yet. And again, so I build up to level 3 because I'm organically building up more core charges, and also at a time when I use my level 1 I have more core charges basically given to me. And then with the max amount of core charges right here, because from level 2 and level 3 I can get with one single combo, and opponent is stunned, I effectively get to my level 3 immediately, and that is the fastest, the bestest I can, muster with Solvarch. And that will always take considerable amount of time. And that's the thing. Even if opponent had less health, I couldn't really shorten that rotation. So even if I'm going to be dealing with, half a health bar opponent, I'd still have to go through all of those steps, because by the time I activated my level 3, opponent's at 57%. So I have done only like 200k damage. And again, most of that comes at the very end. So that is one aspect I don't like. He's an absolute noodle until you pop off. Alright, let's bring him against Mutant. And this is not the best Mutant to go up against. Obviously, the best ones are Onslaught and Captain Britain and a few others that, passively do slight amount of damage to you over time with like tiny Neuroshock or something. But still here, this is the type of matchup where I really don't need to bother too much about optimizing my rotations. I can use different rotations because I'm easily gaining the core charges. So that's effectively exactly what I do here. I get my 5 energized at the beginning and very, very quickly drop my level 1 because I was already at 100 core charges and I just want to do max amount of damage. So here I'm gonna get my 10 energizes in a second because I restacked my armor ups. I'm gonna get my energizes right now, and effectively I can immediately go for level 2 for max amount of damage, and this is the max this level 2 can do. And even all this rotation still, again, it is faster, it is better, I have more freedom in rotation and what I choose to do. It still took 52 seconds. For a rank 2 7-star, with Recall Masteries active, and again, I have played with Solvarch with and without Recall Masteries, and yeah, he's whatever. But I just have recalls on for the off-season for Arena. But as a comparison, I wanted to bring out Maestro, because again, many people have lots of different opinions about Maestro in general, but I have not met a single person who would claim that Maestro has great damage output. He has like tolerable damage output at best. But that is why we look at Maestro pretty much exclusively as a defender. Like 98 times out of 100, Maestro is going to get used on defense. So here we go. Activated my my level 2, got the passive Furies. I'm fully built up there. Final ones. How do you guys think how long Maestro is going to take to do this Winter Soldier fight? And again, Maestro is a pure defender. Solvarch is primarily, I would guess, an offensive champion. Okay, so again, I also made sure that I'm not going Berserk. I never pushed Winter Soldier Red to not give myself like an unfair roll advantage, because that is the coolest thing about Solvarch, that power leech. Anyways, this entire little maneuver, it took me a minute and 6. So it's noticeably faster than Solvarch in generic matchup, slightly slower than Solvarch in a mutant matchup. But again, class advantage and with... So, barely faster than Maestro, I would say. And again, mainly because of class advantage in that star matchup. But here, I figured Ordeal's Dr. Doom would be a great place where to test Solvarch, because he should be perfect for this fight, on paper. He's an XL champion. Dr. Doom, all damage types is energy damage. And so yeah, in theory, this is a perfect matchup. But you can see one of the first issues, and I'm not going to hold this against Solvarch too much, but in many of the fights, my phone started lagging incredibly at random moments, like dexing opponents level 2 and stuff like that, because of his animations. I hope Kabam reduces that lag. Again, I do have an iPhone 15 Pro Max. I don't know why some champions lag my phone so much. But effectively, the lag was the main reason why I actually didn't solo this fight. Went to fight the mini one later on because I got frustrated, because again, I got flipped all the time because of the lag. However, this fight can also quite easily expose some of the problems with Solvarch. And one of that is that you are kind of meant to be taking chip damage, and even though against energy damage you regenerate part of it back, it still often is less than ideal fight strategy, right? Because many opponents' abilities do work when they do touch you, and again, chip damage still is meaningful and can add up, especially with nodes like here where we do have Bubble Shield. And ultimately, I think that's an innate weakness of a playstyle like this, especially with champion, without active regeneration. You only have damage mitigation. And I constantly, because of lag, it was unbearable to play it. So I didn't finish this fight, but I did want to also make one more damage comparison here. Because I thought, again, this should be a very good matchup for Solvarch. Maybe my rank 2 with recalls plus the lag was a bit too nasty. So we're going to go against the 6-star. So the 6-star has 670k health. And I'm effectively going to be running kind of like the stable level 3 rotation without hypermaxing my special attacks. Again, if you guys think that would have been faster here, perhaps, but then under these circumstances, I would end up taking significant amounts of significantly more chip damage, I would say, which I have already taken a little bit, but that's fine. But we're not, holding the recall activations against the champions. But here we go. So this is effectively Solvarch, and this is matchup where by all means you should be quite good at. And because every time I parry, every time I get extra charges. So it's not the best, because again, I do need to limit my blocks, but fairly solid. Mainly here we can see, the length of the fight as primary thing. And here I'm going for my first level 3. That's great. I do have 10 energizes, which means I can build up quickly to my level 3. And then with a few extra parries, I will have, effectively reset my ramp, which is awesome, which is exactly what we need and want. And I do kind of need to wait out a little bit here, that aura that he has. And I just need a few more charges, but, we'll manage. Get up 13 armor ups, which was a bit overkill. But I'm kind of getting ready to finish this fight off. And, well, we're going to see the result of it. So obviously most of the damage, I think 10% I took as chip damage and 10% I took from specials. Because I did level 2, level 1 before. And something like that. Anyways, this will finish the fight. This will finish the fight, but let's look at that fight time. And it is 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And now I bought in quite literally a Dragon Man. Dragon Man has nothing great working for this fight. Ability-wise, this is a fairly bad matchup. As in, like, the only thing that Dragon Man has going on for this fight is the fact that he's an XL champion and he doesn't glance. But other than that, he's not a great Dr. Doom matchup. He doesn't have any, Doom doesn't have any buffs. I do need to consistently worry about my buffs getting nullified. And this is absolutely far from compatible matchup. Again, with Solvarch, it might not have been an ideal matchup, but it was good. There's energy damage, an XL champion. He, regens back from energy damage. None of his damage is tied to crits and stuff like that. And there we go. So this is Baby Dragon Man now. Also, same rank. Both of them are rank 2. And Dragon Man is putting in work. So here I do need to wait out at level 2. And let's carry on a bit. Go for a relic. Let's go for a heavy. He's at 16%. A little bit left. Come on then. And okay, almost done. And Dragon Man 138. compared to, and I do have armor penetration, just FYI, compared to as my Relic-Cast and 208. So I'm sure, again, that you can find more suitable fights for Solvarch, but I don't think that anybody's really going to argue much that Solvarch is more suited for Dr. Doom than Dragon Man is. And he was still significantly outsped by Dragon Man. And therefore, I believe that Solvarch will have occasional uses somewhere in the game. As in, there might be some Karina challenge, or there might be some specific boss in Act 9, or some other difficult content. Or there could be an Alliance War fight with a specific, tactic and path. And if anything, I think the best chance he has at being borderline relevant and used is Alliance War. Because, again, there are good things in that kit. Fractured Power in itself can be useful. The fact that his regen rate cannot be reduced below 50%, that, can be useful for those. Petrify, activate special attacks, get Petrify nodes. Able to parry non-contact attacks, again, is something that is useful in this game. So there are elements of a good champion. For sure. And yeah, access to like red numbers, not critting, all of that stuff's good. All of it is decent. But even against his, again to put it, I wouldn't pick Solvarch as top option against any champions in the game. Like any one of the matchups that Solvarch is meant to be good for, I'd much rather pick a different champion. Be that Onslaught or be that, Sinister. Again, a Sinister you kind of need to be careful anyways, but be that, what else he would be really, really good at. Because again, he would take some damage from Domino. He would regen a bit of it and he would ramp up faster, but he would finish that fight. So against Domino, I'd much rather have, Red Skull or a handful of other champions. Onslaught, I think he can do it fine, but I'd still probably prefer a handful of other champions for Onslaught. And it's a similar case about most of the mutant champions, if not all. So I don't think there's a single matchup that I'd go like, yep, I want Solvarch for this. And that's in mutant class. When it goes to, other classes, do you want to be using Solvarch against Bullseye? I really don't think so. Do you want to be using Solvarch against, Killmonger or Yelena or Nick Fury? Really, I don't think so, because Solvarch also relies on increasing his attack, and that's not happening there against Yelena. And then some tech, do you want to... He's probably good against Zola, I'll give him that. Parry non-contacts, get those heavies in, and don't know how fast, but, some energy damage there too. But again, is he like the ideal Zola counter that I would use? No. And yeah, so that's what I just think of the champion. I can't think of a single matchup where I'd pick him over other better options. I don't think he has a ton of good matchups, let alone great matchups that are relevant. And I'm kind of skeptical. Now, it might turn out to be that, again, due to nodes or due to some other circumstances, he becomes very popular. But currently, having seen other people's gameplay, having played with him myself, having sat down and thought about his potential uses and so on and so forth, I think he's mid. And that's fine. But if you love him, go on, enjoy your champion. But if you're asking for my advice, maybe hold on and ranking him for a bit. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all